Hi, today we'll be doing a demo of Nagato, a Blender add-on we created to manage our tasks and files during production. In this demo, we'll be jumping between three interfaces: Kitsu, our production tracker, Blender for modeling and animation, and Quixel Mixer for material authoring. They're all free to use, and you can learn more about each of these tools by following the links in the description. For this purpose, we'll make an example of this shot. It has just 4 characters and 5 props. The first thing we want to do is create the project on Kitsu. Let's name it Project X, and then we can add some artists to it. After listing out our assets, we can now create tasks for each of them and assign them to people. We will do the same for the shot. And finally, we will do a breakdown and cast some assets and characters into the shots we created. We'll cast in everything on our list except the paddle, so we could use it to illustrate something else later on. Now here's where the magic happens. Normally, we would need to create all the working files and set up permissions before our artists can get to work. But at this point, all of that has been done already in the background by Genesis, another tool we created to generate project files. Now let's jump into Blender to illustrate this. There's a drop down showing the project I'm engaged in, as well as a list of tasks assigned to me. The first thing I'll do is update the task status so my supervisor knows I'm on it. If we go back to the tracker, we can see the status has changed along with the comment I put in. If my supervisor is happy with the work, it could be marked as done, and back in Blender, it's not on my list anymore. If some changes need to be made, any task could be set to retake and it shows up again on my list. This one is a shading task, so I'll work on it. Let's use the opportunity to show how Nagato works with Mixer. After UV unwrapping the model and adding a material, I can just click this button and Mixer will start with the asset already prepared for me to work on. I'll add a smart material for this demo, and then I can export the textures with this button. Back in Blender, if I click the Import Textures button, all the maps I exported from Mixer will be set automatically for me, and I can publish the file or make any other tweaks I might want to. Let's assume all the assets for this project are completed at this point, so we can quickly take a look at our shot. Once I've opened the working file in Blender, we can click the Get Dependencies button to bring in those assets we cast in earlier, and instantly they are linked in from their respective files. We can start laying out our shot right away. The problem though is that we have forgotten to cast in the paddle, or rather we left it out. We can simply come over to Nagato's asset browser here and just link in the assets. If all this seems oversimplified, it's because it actually is. All through, we haven't opened the file browser at all. What we have done here is streamline the entire process to be as simple and as organized as possible. We're automating repetitive tasks so artists can focus just on their work, whilst reducing avenues for errors in file management. Going forward, we're implementing a render manager as well, and figuring out how to make the integration with other open source tools like Krita and Unreal Engine even more seamless.